Well, hello there. The name is Chanley. I'm sipping on some delicious bone broth. This is a cup from one of my lovely friends, Mrs. Zoe. She gave this to me, and that's actually her little brand name right there. A little shout out to Everbee Wellness. But that's not what the video here today is about. I'm actually going to be documenting an extended water fast. That'll be taking place over the next couple of days here as I prepare for my 24th birthday. As my second cycle ends here on the planet, the zodiac cycle being the beautiful process of unfolding, which is once again not exactly what this video is about. That could be a whole video on its own, talking about the cyclical nature of life and of a person's own journey and life path. But today I want to talk about my preparations for this fast. I'll preface this with saying that I do have quite a bit of experience with fasting, an intermediate fast pretty much every day. I have for the last, 3-4 years, not to say I intermediate fast every single day, but it's been a pretty consistent part of my regimen. Going on since maybe I want to say late 2017 is whenever I kind of first began aware of it. It was much more difficult for me back then, as I was still carrying a lot more toxins from just a life of, living in America and eating highly processed foods and breathing, toxic air, whether it be like exhaust from a car or whatever. There's plenty of toxins in our environment. And that can be why a fast can be so beneficial for, individuals to partake in, to help clean their vessels out and help get that clarity back in their body and the way that they feel, as well as their mental clarity, which is something I would like to make a video on, talking about the benefits that one can receive, just mentally speaking, the cognitive clarity and precision and pinpointedness that can arise through fasting, which is oftentimes why the Greeks back in the day would use fasting. It was much more centered around, the cognitive benefits one can receive. Nowadays, we have plenty of science to show that there are tremendous amounts of health benefits from taking, from skipping a meal or consciously choosing to restrict your, the calorie intake. And so, that is something that I'm very passionate about. I've seen countless benefits in my own life from getting away from the standardized system, which really isn't natural. This whole 3 meals a day, when did we come up with that? That was like whenever it's basically set up for a work system. You eat, you go to work, you have your lunch break, you come home, you have dinner. It's not natural. If you think about a nomadic human roaming about as we started here on this planet, they would be gathering food and, maybe get a kill occasionally. It's not every day that they'd even be eating. And that's something I think we should probably recognize in our society of overconsumption and just indulgence. Our ancestors didn't eat every day, and they thrived. And even if they were able to get, more consistent substance, I truly believe that it was more closer to like a 1 meal a day, or where, we would be working and we'd do everything throughout the day, and then as we'd be coming down to rest, as nightfall would be, and we'd be falling, and we'd be around our fire, we'd sit there and pass our stories and everything and be sharing a meal. And, there's a lot of science and personal experience if you start to look into people not living off of that much food, because when you eat higher quality food, you need much less of it. Like this right here, which is bone broth, which is one of the most amazing substances. I mean, I feel like a literal higher vibrational sensation in my mind, my body, my consciousness when I consume this. It's important to consume quality bone broth, I will say that. There's a lot of people who just use, beef stock or chicken stock and label it as bone broth. So do be careful that you are taking in things of, more that are, once again, more natural. Like a cow is designed to eat grass. A bison is designed to eat grass. Chickens are designed to be roaming around and have a sense of freedom. So try to support those companies who allow their animals to at least, live a more natural and healthy and happy life. Like when a cow eats grass, it doesn't have all the inflammation and this like bowel destruction like when consuming grain, which is majority of milk and beef that we eat. They're stuffed up full of stuff which is not which they would not naturally be consuming. So make sure you're drinking high quality stuff. But once again, if you do consume the higher quality, even if it may be a bit more expensive, it'll benefit you much more greatly in the long run, as you need less of a higher quality substance to sustain you versus, when we're eating off of cravings and attachments and just general, rhythms of like, it's this time, so I should eat, it's like, and we end up eating quite a bit more food than is really necessary for our bodies to sustain themselves.